In the landscape of modern literature, the trope of morally gray characters has emerged as a compelling narrative force, capturing the hearts of readers across the globe. This exploration delves into the allure of these complex figures whose moral ambiguity challenges traditional dichotomies of good versus evil, making them particularly fascinating and relatable to a contemporary audience. Definition: morally gray characters are those who exist in the nebulous space between hero and villain. They are crafted with a blend of virtues and flaws, making their moral alignment ambiguous. Unlike traditional characters who are easily categorized as good or evil, morally gray characters operate on a spectrum, often making decisions that serve their interests or the greater good, depending on the perspective. Origins: the trope is not entirely new, with roots tracing back to early literature and mythology. However, its popularity surged in the late 20th and early 21st centuries. This resurgence can be attributed to a growing societal recognition of the complexity of human nature and morality, reflected in the narratives of contemporary literature, film, and television. Why it works: the psychological appeal of morally gray characters lies in their realism. They mirror the complexity of real human beings, who are rarely entirely virtuous or wholly wicked. Readers find these characters compelling because they can see parts of themselves reflected in the characters' struggles, decisions, and moral quandaries. Narratively, morally gray characters introduce unpredictability into the story, as their actions and loyalties cannot be easily predicted based on conventional moral guidelines. This ambiguity adds depth to the narrative, inviting readers to engage in moral reflection and debate, thereby enhancing their emotional and intellectual investment in the story. Examples: A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin is a prime example, populated with characters such as Jaime Lannister, whose journey from villain to a man of somewhat nobler intentions blurs the lines of morality. Similarly, the Witcher series by Andrzej Sapkowski presents Geralt of Rivia, a monster hunter who navigates a morally complex world, often facing choices that challenge the traditional notions of good and evil. These characters and their narratives captivate readers, offering rich, nuanced explorations of morality that defy easy categorization. Across genres, the trope manifests in diverse ways. In fantasy, morally gray characters often face choices between personal gain and the greater good in worlds where the moral codes are as complex as the magical systems. In science fiction, these characters might be anti-heroes or rebels challenging oppressive systems, walking a fine line between terrorism and liberation. Contemporary literature, on the other hand, might present morally gray characters in the form of flawed individuals navigating the complexities of modern life, from personal relationships to ethical dilemmas in the workplace. When it fails, the trope can falter when characters are insufficiently developed, leading to a lack of genuine moral complexity. If a character's motivations are not well explained or their actions are inconsistent without clear narrative reasoning, the attempt at moral ambiguity can come across as confusing or unconvincing. Additionally, overuse of the trope without meaningful exploration can desensitize readers to moral ambiguity, making it seem like a mere narrative gimmick rather than a tool for deep character exploration. For writers, to use this trope effectively, writers should focus on character development, ensuring that the morally gray aspects of their characters are rooted in well-defined motivations and a coherent personal history. It's crucial to balance their virtues and flaws in a way that feels authentic and relatable. Writers should also be prepared to navigate the complexities of their characters' moral decisions, using them as opportunities for character growth and thematic exploration. Lastly, maintaining consistency within the character's moral framework, even as they evolve, is key to avoiding reader disengagement. Conclusion: the trope of morally gray characters endures because of its profound resonance with the human condition. In a world where moral absolutes are increasingly scrutinized, these characters offer a mirror to the complexity and ambiguity of our own moral landscapes. They challenge readers to reflect on the nature of good and evil and the many shades of gray in between. As literature continues to evolve, the allure of morally gray characters will likely persist, providing fertile ground for narrative innovation and deep psychological engagement. Whether you're a reader delving into the murky depths of these characters' moral landscapes or a writer crafting your own, the journey promises to be as enriching as it is complex. Understanding tropes helps both readers enjoy books more and writers craft better stories. What tropes do you love or hate? What should I cover next? Drop your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for weekly trope breakdowns.